Now, to save someone's life must be the ultimate achievement, and when it happens to be a member of your own family, then it's even more personally rewarding. Well, I've come to Our Lady of Peace Middle School near Slough to meet not one, but two local heroes, and they are Danielle and Simon Mann. Now, congratulations to you both. Whose life was it that you saved?
Our brother's Drew.
And how old's Drew?
2.
When did all this happen then?
On the 2nd of April this year.
And he was just a toddler then?
Yes.
Well, it really is a remarkable story, as you're about to see.
Most accidents to young children happen in the home. In Drew's case, it was the garden pond which nearly caused disaster. It's since been filled in, so only a puddle now remains when it's raining. Previously, the children had always been warned by their parents about its dangers.
My mum and dad had told me to keep away from it, not too near it, with all the other kids.
So tell me what happened on that particular day. What were you doing?
Well, we'd come home from school and Simon was taking Drew out with the friends across the road to play.
I was just indoors and I looked out of the window and saw that Simon was playing with Drew without his coat and asked him to go and get his coat.
Simon went to go and get it while he left Drew with the other people, but they didn't realise they had to look after him.
What, here in this garden?
Yes.
5 minutes later, I looked at the window again, and Simon was on his own, wandering around with a coat in his hand. And I said, "Where's Drew?" And he said, "I don't know."
When he came back, he couldn't find Drew.
Simon searched frantically for Drew. The full horror only emerged when he approached the pond. Judy rang for the ambulance. Where did you see him?
He was about there, his feet were under there, and his head was there.
He was floating face down in the water, was he?
Yes.
Did you think he was dead?
Yes.
What did you do?
I grabbed onto his jumper and pulled him out, and then Danielle was over that side of the pond, and she came running over. But I bent down about here.
Yes.
And Simon was across the other side of his body, and then I tilted his head back, and I told Simon to push down in his tummy, and then I gave him then I kissed him.
Oh, you did the resuscitation kiss?
Yes.
Now, where did you learn to do that?
At Guides.
Did you see him lying in the pond?
No, I didn't go that far because I couldn't. No, I didn't actually see him myself.
You froze?
Yes, yes. I was quite hysterical. And then I ran next door to my neighbour whilst Daniel and Simon were administering resuscitation, and I ran to my neighbour, screaming and crying, and she just dropped everything and rushed over.
It's understandable that you would freeze. Do you know why you froze?
Yes. Yes, my daughter died in an accident 9 months earlier.
Were the ambulance men impressed when they discovered you?
Yes, they were.
Gave you a pat on the back?
Yes, they kept saying well done, and they kept congratulating us and everything.
It was the Berkshire ambulance crew involved who nominated Danielle and Simon as local heroes.
On the day that we met Danielle, she acted incredibly bravely in a really stressful situation. She was very calm. She took control of people around her in a very difficult situation.
Their actions were incredible. The teamwork, I've never seen like it before, and I'll probably never see it again. Their actions, which they took together, did save their little brother's life. When we arrived on scene, Drew was unconscious. He was breathing fairly well, he had a good pulse, and he was very cold, and we immediately set off for the hospital. I very, very quickly assessed the rate and depth and quality of respiration. I heard Danielle in the back of the ambulance telling her mum not to worry, and reassuring her that the child would be fine. She was absolutely incredible.
At Wexham Park Hospital, Drew's paediatrician was Dr. Jennifer Cowan.
I first saw Drew shortly after he was admitted to accident and emergency following his near drowning. And at that time he was in a very serious condition, and I was very concerned, not so much as to whether he'd survive at that stage, but whether he'd suffered any brain damage. When I learnt about the intervention of his brother and sister, I felt that they'd made a substantial difference to the outcome, and it may well have saved him from brain damage it certainly will have shortened his stay in hospital, and it's really very likely that it saved his life.
The day after Drew's accident, the pond was filled in with sand.
Well, as the paediatrician says, children and ponds and pools don't mix.
Dr. Cowan also believes life-saving first aid should be taught to everyone.
I think it's essential that everybody who has the opportunity should learn first aid, and in particular I think the skills of mouth-to-mouth resuscitation are very important. You never know when you're going to need it, and if you know what to do in the right circumstance, it's possible you may save somebody's life, as Drew's brother and sister almost certainly did.
Well, soon after Drew's accident, the head teacher here at the school, Mrs. Carter, decided to hold a special assembly and a presentation in recognition for what Danielle and Simon had done. And Danielle has come back to school here today, and Simon, of course, is already here, because we decided to take a leaf out of the head teacher's book and make a special presentation here. We asked your mum what you'd like, so we've called on the ambulance crew who nominated you to make a special presentation. Daniel and Simon Mann, local heroes. Well, lessons are about to begin here, so let's join Mike Devons, who's out on the town.